Good afternoon, or it's still kind of morning actually, but good morning. I had a great idea of a training to do for you today, and so I really wanted to share it. So a little off schedule with when I typically go live, but I wanted to share with you because you are a part of this group, and so exclusive to you, we're having an extra training today that I have found very helpful in my health journey that I think that maybe you'll find healthy as well. Okay, so today I want to talk about how do we eat out? Okay, it is so hard, especially if you have severe issues like I do, to eat out. But we're just going to talk generally today, and then I'll get a little more specific when you have like inflammation, autoimmune, and special issues like that towards the end. But generally, how do we eat out and somewhat remain healthy? Okay. Because we all have been in the house for far too long. Okay. We want to be able to go with our friends. We don't want our diet to ruin our lives because if we do that, we're not going to do it forever. Okay. So, how do we eat out and still have social lives? How do we go to a friend's house and still have a social life, but yet still maintain and reach those health goals that we have? Okay. So, this is what we're going to talk about today. And there's just four things that we can do to really help. All right. The first one is you need to preview the menu and decide what you're going to have before you go. Okay. The reason for this, I don't know if you've been there, but I have. I'm sitting, I'm reading the menu, and I'm trying to decide what I can have. All right. Because that's so limited, I take forever trying to decide what I want because not only do I have to decide what I can have, I have to decide, well, what do I want that isn't going to be just a bowl of green beans? So it's going to take a little bit of time to figure out what you're going to order, to try to piece something together that you're going to enjoy. Okay. So go online. All of the menus are online. Preview the menu, sit and decide what you want before you get there. Okay. The second tip is to keep it very, very simple. All right. So things like casseroles or where it's got lots and lots of ingredients all together are not going to be probably the healthiest options because they're going to have a whole bunch of cheese and dairy and bread and just all the things and along with some sugar piled in there, and that's going to derail you completely. I know I hate it when I go and I want to order something that shouldn't be a lot of calories, but I look next to it and it's 1100 calories for that one thing. Okay, that's my entire day's worth almost. Okay, so we want to keep it very, very simple. You're looking at a meal that just has a simple protein that is not fried, okay, or breaded in any way, a simple protein plus the veggies or fruit, okay? Simple protein, veggies, fruit. All right. You're trying to find a menu item that looks like that. Okay. For a drink, you're definitely going to want to choose just water, or I really like to get a hot tea. All right. With mine because it helps with digestion. All right. So keep it very, very simple. Now, that leads us to the third tip because menu items are not typically simple. Okay. Typically, you get this main dish, okay? And then it comes with this huge starchy carb loaded side. And then it might come with a vegetable, okay? Um, so they're not typically very simple. And so you end up having to take the menu item and go, okay, can I have this, but can you please not bring this? And can you cook it without this in it? All right. It gets very confusing. And if you're like me, some people are super bold and love it and they don't mind and they will have every contingency on their order and it's totally fine. Do that. But sometimes the restaurant isn't going to be able to do that for you. Okay. So rather than ordering off the main menu, what I like to do is I go to the sides and I a la carte my meal. All right. I show you or I'll read it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we go to First Watch, and this is their sides. That's probably not going to focus. All right, so this is their sides. And I go through it and I look at the sides and I a la carte. So there's some things obviously I can't have, but they have grits, they have fruit, they have potatoes, biscuits and gravy, toast, English muffin, gluten-free toast, muffin of the day, bacon, and then they have ham or sausage, and then they have mixed greens and a bowl of soup. Okay. So what I like to do is I go through the sides and I a la carte my meal, but I follow that same plan: protein plus sides of vegetables or fruit and or fruit. Okay. So for instance, today when I went, I ended up getting the turkey sausage. I ordered a side of fruit and a side of seasoned potatoes. Okay. That is not on the menu. Okay. There's nothing simple on the menu that doesn't have a whole bunch of things I can't have. All right. Especially when you have the sides and whatnot. So it is much easier for me to go in and get the sides and piece something together that I can have. All right. And then there's no special anything that I'm asking for. Now that leads us into the other one because on here there was definitely an organic mixed greens. All right. And that's wonderful. Personally, I don't like salad. Um, I've been a vegetarian. I didn't eat salad then either, and I don't want to do it now. Okay. So I don't like the salad, but if you're going to get the salad, you have to remember that the dressing is filled with sugar. Okay. So you're going to not want to get the dressing. And I'll go into that here in a little bit from when we get into the special cases. Okay. But their fourth tip, which is always the hardest, as soon as you get there, all right, as soon as you get there, as soon as you sit down, you need to politely ask that they not bring the chips or the bread or whatever it is that they typically bring. Okay. Um, if you're with a social group, obviously you don't want to say that if everybody else wants it. Okay. So you're gonna have to maybe sit away from it, make sure it's not right in front of you. Okay, because it's hard enough to not eat that, but when it's the bowl is or basket or whatever is sitting right in front of you, that's the hardest. So just make sure it's not sitting right in front of you. Have a lot of water or hot tea while you are sitting and socializing and kind of get yourself distracted from it. A thing that I like to do is I don't go hungry. Okay, so if I know it's a place where I'm going because I love my friends and I want to be with my friends, okay, I'm going to eat a little bit of something before I go so I'm not as tempted to have the chips, the bread, or whatever is complimentary when you first get there. And I'm not sitting there feeling like I'm dying, okay? So eat a little bit of something before you go. All right, so we're going to kind of review those. One, preview the menu and order, like know what you're going to order before you even go. Keep it simple: protein, vegetables, fruit, water. Okay. A la carte is the best solution. Okay. Find the sides, piece together something. That way you don't have to alter any kind of menu items. And then fourth, politely ask that the chips or the bread doesn't come or sit as far away from them as you possibly can and eat before you go. All right, so that's for the general population of how we can eat out without completely derailing our health goals. But I do want to get in a little bit of our specialty issues because we do have some people in here who have autoimmune or celiac, which is an autoimmune. And so we want to kind of cover that a little bit. All right. When you eat out, you are very, very likely, no matter what you do, going to have something that goes against your protocol. Okay. There are hidden ingredients throughout. There's sugar. A lot of fruits and vegetables have added sugar or they're cooked in sugar. Okay. And then gluten is used in so many things because it's a thickener. It's gluten. Okay. It's a glue. All right. And it's used in a lot of stuff. Okay. So even if okay, so say a steak, for some reason, there still can be gluten and sugar on that steak because that's what they've done to add natural flavor enhancers. Natural flavors usually mean sugar or gluten. Okay. Um, and then if you have autoimmune like I do, Most of them are going to be cooking in canola, soybeans, sunflower oil, something like that. Okay. So even if, like today's item that I had, even if you are perfect on how you're doing it and there's not all the things, it's cooked in, like First Watch cooks in soybean oil. Okay. So now I have wrist and ankle pain because soybean is inflammatory. All right. So you're going to have some hidden ingredients in there. So if you have autoimmune, celiac, anything like that, you are definitely going to want to do some research before you go to a restaurant. Okay. You need to research what oils is that restaurant using. Okay. Like I said, First Watch uses soybean oil. So even though it's a pretty healthy, it has a lot of healthy options, okay, and it is natural food, but it's cooked in soybean oil, all right, and for my kind of people that's just not good. Okay, research the ingredients. Sugar is used a lot in a lot of things as well as gluten. Back to the salad dressings. Salad dressing has sugar and gluten in it. All right, so what you can do is order sides of vinegar and oil, mix them together yourself, add some salt and pepper, and put that on your salad. Okay. So rather than getting the standard salad dressing, you're going to want to do vinegar and oil, add some salt and pepper. All right. It's a little bit more control over that. Vinegar can still have sugar in it, so it's not as much control as we would like, but we are eating out. There's not a whole lot of control over that. Um, Now, for people like me who have severe autoimmune, the safest option and probably should be doing is just eat at home. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a social life. Okay. There are many, many times I go out with people to a restaurant and I don't eat it. Okay. And that's totally fine. What I do is I eat before I go. Okay. Eat before you go, eat at home. All right. Have hot tea or some lemon water, while you're there, just having act it's like you're having coffee with friends. Okay. And enjoy that time that you're having with your family and friends. Okay. You can still go. You can still go. You can still enjoy your friends. Find something like what helps me enjoy it is just sitting there sipping hot tea. I get to pretend I'm having coffee with friends. Okay. And that's what really helps me out. Okay. So those are some tips on how you can eat out without completely derailing your health goals. All right, guys, you have a great weekend. I hope that is helpful because I know the weekend is definitely the time that our family tends to want to go eat out. So use those tips, help you out while you are going out and enjoying the weekend. You guys have a great one. Bye.